Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
Goeiemorgen and welcome to another episode of Photo Chats with Nats. My name is Nathalie and I'm a professional photographer based in Johannesburg, South Africa. I've not always lived here. Before I moved to Johannesburg, I was actually working as a safari guide in Botswana. Today I'm going to take a look at a project that I started after I came out of a creative slump. I talked about this in more detail in my last episode on Tuesday. If you did not join me then, and if you haven't seen it, I'm going to just have a quick recap on it, because I think it's really important that we are aware of what is possibly happening. And so I was in a creative slump. I had a serious lack of enthusiasm for photography, and then I invested in a new camera just for me, a little X100S, and that changed everything for me. Then came a trip to Namibia, and I was inspired and motivated and loved taking photographs with my new camera. And I was really blown away by the creative freedom that I enjoyed with this one camera, one lens approach. It was really freeing me up to do a lot of different creative things, like this photograph here, for example, that I just shot out of a moving vehicle just to see what happens. So a lot of these kinds of images came about on this trip, and it really set me free. And I was really excited by all the results, the vibrant colors and the variety of images that I was able to get with just one camera and one lens. And also the approach that I had, that I was just going there to shoot for myself, and I did not really have many expectations of what kind of photographs or what quality would come out. So it was just a matter of experimenting, and a wonderful project. So in today's show, I really want to, dive deeper into the story of X-Frame, this project that came about, the book that I made from it, and what that was all about, and then a couple of lessons that I learned from this entire experience before we look at what's happening in the next show. Let's jump right in. The story of X-Frame. X-Frame was a project that was started by my husband and myself and a couple of friends. It was a project that came out of, like I said, this very trip to Namibia, my purchase of an X100S and all the images that I created with that camera, and the joy of photography that I all of a sudden experienced again after starting to shoot with this camera. It was then that when we came back from this trip, and I looked at all the images and compared them and showed them and shared them with friends of mine, and also my husband, who had purchased the same camera. Friends of ours also were shooting on an X100S at the time. So we decided that we were going to start a project. And all we were going to do was we're going to share images for the sake of sharing images. What were the details in this project? So we thought we want to keep it fun. We want to just have a motivation to shoot images all the time, and we want to see what we all can come up with, what kind of photographs we can shoot with this one camera, which in all its different iterations is basically a one camera, one lens, a fixed lens, yet it is so very versatile. We were extremely intrigued by that, which is why we thought this is what we were going to do. So we called also on other photographers and we invited them. And the aim was really to shoot one image a week and to share it. It was on a Wednesday morning, once a week, every week, and anything goes. There was no limit to what kind of subjects we were going to shoot. It was really to find out what breadth and depth can be captured with this camera. So the more different the subjects would be, the better. But we had no themes, just one image a week, share it and upload it to this blog. And at first it was Neil Soden and his wife Yvonne, very good friends of ours, and we shared lots of photo time with them, and they were often the start to many of our Fujifilm experiences. And my husband and I, and we started to invite others to also collaborate with us. And we created a blog, which we called X-Frame, and it's still up today. You can have a look at it. I'll share the link in the comments. And you can see there is a huge variety of images, different subject matters, different colors, black and white, close-ups, wide angles, street photography, landscapes, all sorts of different images that were all captured with basically the same camera, which, you know, we found extremely inspiring. At the same time, it was also a very good practice and a muscle to develop to post one image a week. You may think just one image a week, it doesn't sound like much, but when you do it over and over again and you challenge yourself to create a new image every week and post that online, it sometimes, when you're busy with other things, can get quite challenging. However, it was a wonderful time, and I look back on it with big smiles on my face and in my heart, because it was a very special time. It was so special that what came out of this project was a book, a photo book that I made. And I have it here, and I'm going to have a look inside of it. I've prepared a couple of pages for you that I want to show you, but this is essentially what it looks like, and what it is are my first 100 images that I posted online. Why did I do that? Because I felt that this was such an important project of mine. It was a milestone in my journey of photography. I felt that this project had unleashed so many things, and I was so grateful for it to basically open my photographic eye again and to spark and rekindle my joy for photography and my joy to experiment and to stay curious about different kinds of photography and different approaches. So it was really so important, and I felt also I needed to acknowledge the fact that I had been diligent and post an image a week for now 2 years. And after the 2 years, when I hit the 100, I said, I need to turn all these images into a book. I need to capture this and really, cherish those moments. Because what I had also realized is when you take an image a week and you keep it relatively current, you will find a red thread through your life. And that's exactly what I saw, is that basically all these images played and told a little bit of a story of my life, of what was happening at the time. So it wasn't only a photographic exercise, but it was really about having memories of this time of my life. So I really took this seriously. I thought it needs to be a proper book. But I didn't want to spend too much time on designing it. I was used to spending a lot of time behind the camera, behind the computer, to design photo books for weddings, which is wonderful. But, when you're busy and you do other things and you do this for yourself, I wanted to streamline the process. So what I did is I did the whole thing in Lightroom, and I dealt and used what I could with the editing capabilities of Lightroom, and I was actually really impressed how advanced this was and how many opportunities and options I was given. So, I took my collection into Lightroom, and I created this book with the first 100 images that I ever posted. And I want to share with you the favorite parts of this book, and just to, give you a bit of an insight as to what this could look like. So I used a cover, one of my favorite images that lent itself as a wraparound, and started out like that. And I really wanted it to be a proper book, so I, wrote an introduction where I, captured everything that led up to the first posting of the first images. I took images that, complemented each other to be on the same opposing pages, and mostly used the titles, a small caption when I posted that with those images at the time on the blog, and then the EXIF and the location of where this image was captured. Those details I had really always shared when I posted the image. And if I hadn't mentioned that already, it was the first time when I started this project that I started titling my images. It felt a little bit weird at first because I never used to do that. But now, with posting the image and one image needing to stand alone in a collection with other people's images, they really should have a name of their own. So I started titling, and the more I did it, the easier it was. So I took those titles and also added them to the book. I played with different kinds of layouts and, grouped black and white images together, for example. And sometimes when I had a really special image that meant a lot to me, I also wrote a bit of a story. I shared that story also on my blog and made more of it with some of the images that, I felt really needed it, or something that I really enjoyed in particular, like this image was very special to me. Other times when, I had various other images, I also just shared them like this and maybe made the design a little bit different to keep it interesting. At the same time, when, some of the images were really powerful, like this one, for example, I chose a double spread, wrote a little bit about it. This image was just a, really lucky find in a store in downtown Johannesburg, a bookstore, a second-hand bookstore, and I ended up by accident in the basement and found this really precious scene. Other times, when I was traveling, I captured, interesting scenes that, had opposing subjects, and chose to put the title on the image. So I just played around with different ways of laying it out to keep it interesting, and picked the images that were most special to me and made those double spreads or like this layout with some more of an explanation. Also for myself to, memorize and keep those special moments, in this forever. And then, like a good book should have, I also wrote a closing statement. So I really took it seriously because for me, like I said in the beginning, it was to really honor and the accomplishment that I had achieved, I found was very important. So it was a celebration, and that needed to be, done in style. So what I wanted to share with you, which I find really important, is out of all of this, last episode's story and today, was that it is always possible that there's a creative slump that may hit you when you're not expecting it, or when you're not, thinking that it could be possible. This will never happen to me, is what I thought. But it really by the time you realize that you're in it, it's probably very well developed already and you haven't seen the signs before. So it's really important that you're aware of it, because it is such a precious passion that we all share, and we need to protect it. We need to look out for it, and we need to make sure that we are proactively cultivating and protecting this precious art. So, even just looking at the amount of images you take for yourself may be an indication that if the number is on the decline, something is going on. So always be aware what you do for yourself and how much time you take for your personal projects, and if you have any new ideas for a personal project. I'd really advise you to use this age-old guideline of less is often more. I mean by that maybe take some time out, maybe not shoot for a while, take a rest, and think about what next you could embark on. I have taken this lesson from when I used to train for running, and I was told that you grow most and the strongest on your resting days. And I think we should really take this into our creative process as well, that when we step back away from the lens and do something else, embark on a different creative process, do a different hobby, or watch movies where we get inspired differently visually, that we grow in our creative process. So take this to heart, or maybe simplify your gear, shoot with one camera and one lens, or give yourself a task, only shoot red, or only go out at a certain time of the day, or only shoot at a 15th of a second, or whatever it is, any kind of project you can think of, or go and group with like-minded photographers and share in your photography. Don't take it too seriously and shoot without any expectations. Leave those expectations behind. If you're a working photographer, then you have enough pressure to perform during your work. So for yourself, leave those expectations and give yourself the freedom to create and fail and try again, to grow some more and to never lose the curiosity to find out something new. It is really important that you find what you do yourself as important as your work. Take yourself seriously in that sense, that even your personal photographs and personal projects are as important. Take time for them, make sure that you take them, and make sure that you really preserve them and have them accessible. Put them in a book, print them, whatever it takes. Make sure that you have them all around you, because they are the photos that will really tell the story of your life. So don't ever think that work is more important. Make sure that you take time for your personal projects and for your personal photographs, and protect them with everything that you can. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to ask me, either now in the live stream or at a later stage if you're watching this recording. I am always happy to answer questions, so never hold back and fire away. I'm always available, and I'm happy to help you along. In the next show, we will dive a little bit more into this whole topic of creating memories, and I can't wait for you to join me again. And please, if you feel like this was of value to you and you would like some more of my content, then feel free to subscribe to my channel, hit the like and the notification bell, the drill. Maybe share this with some of your friends or people you think may take value of this as well. It is highly appreciated. And I really appreciate that you have been with me today, that you watched this live or the recording. And I can't wait to see you again. I will see you on Tuesday, this time at 9 o'clock in the morning. We are trying different times and see what works for other people and what kind of time slots suit our Eskom load shedding schedule. So yeah, this is it from me for today. I can't wait to see you on Tuesday. Goodbye for now. Have a wonderful day.